So this episode is entitled VCEL, which is voluntary celibacy, being a heteronormative woman in an LGBTQIAA world, and how sex fucks everything up. Kendra. Alright, so let me ramble on. First, I want to send out a lot of love to my LGBTQIA brethren. This is no shade on you, so don't take it that way. You know, I believe everybody has how shall I say? Everybody's entitled to roll how they want in the hay with whomever, however, in whichever way they see fit, as long as it's not involving somebody who's not consenting and underage and manipulation. Dig? So I'm just throwing that out there as like a precursor. This ain't that story. This is my story, okay? And my story is I know my sexuality. I know my orientation. I've known and have enjoyed my sex life to a very heavy, heavy degree, I have to say. Ain't no shame in my game. I like to get down. I've always loved the men that I've gotten down with. I like sex so much and I love men so much that I've often said that I must have been a gay man in another life. However, also being somebody who out of the gate was very sexually provocative as an artist, as an open and liberal soul, I don't think that there's ever been, a time in my life when sex hasn't been an open and honest discussion with me and others. And it may not just have been about my own sex life, it may have been about their sex life. I mean, an artist, when I was coming up, when people were discovering their sexuality, a lot of my friends were discovering that theirs wasn't the same, right? So I think it's pretty cool that, we're living in a more open society, but this is now like how I feel I've moved into a quote-unquote, I ain't lying, kids, cats and kittens, I come from the rave generation, like hippie raver present in the house, no lie, okay? So it ain't like that, but I'm like a heterosexual female. I like my men straight in my bedroom, okay? That's just it. I'm not into bisexual people. Men, I like my men to be straight. I like my men to be like completely on point about what they like in women. And I don't like there to be any confusion in my bedroom, so to speak. I'm not into women. They're just like way too sweet and soft and all that for me. I'm sorry. It's like throwing vinegar in my pussy. End of story. It just turns me right off. Betsy just shriveled right the fuck up, okay? So it's not like that, but at this point, I find it so hysterical because I'm a voluntary celibate because sex just fucks everything up. Tell me it doesn't fuck everything up. Tell me how many people out there have been running a game with somebody that you've been friends with for so long, and then all of a sudden you cross that line, like you slip, right? And you get all sexy with that person. Now shit's all fucked up. Right? And especially if you don't want a relationship, it's even more confused. And then it's even worse after you leave, because now it's like you had this sexual line that you crossed with that individual and you can't go back to being the friend, okay? So another thing, let me just cut to the chase here. All you best be stop telling yourself a whole line of self-deceptive bullshit, okay? The difference between a friendship and a relationship of any sort is the sex. Alright? End of story. If they're your friend, you ain't fucking them. If you are sleeping with them, feelings are going to get involved. So let me rap on about that. Who's this God that turned around and built into us females this chemical compound that makes us bond with some player asshole whose immediate reaction is after they get laid, let me walk? All right? That's got to be a male God. That ain't no female God. That ain't no goddess on my side. Trust and believe, because I would definitely like to be the person who gets up and walks away. Wouldn't you, girlfriends? Trust and believe. I know you be rapping on talking that. It's real shit right there, right? So it's like this chemical compound gets released in your DNA when you turn around and hook up with this player, and now you find yourself in a situation where you just can't get him out of your system, right? Sex fucks everything up. And then you notice when, like, if you take a break, like you do one of those long haul breaks where, like, you guys aren't messing around and maybe even you put it on ice. I don't know how many people put it on ice anymore, quite literally, even though that's actually where your personal power and strength comes from, believe it or not, is celibacy. But I'll wrap on about that in a totally different topic and on a totally different podcast. But the bottom line is, like, now you're wrapped into this, like, chemical. That's what Tina was singing about. It's a chemical reaction, okay? We actually create this bonding compound that keeps us bonded to some fucker who's, like, turning around and doing it to, like, 12 other females, and they're bonding with him, too, right? Hence, soul ties step in, right? Now you got all these attachments and these etheric cords, and that's pretty hardcore shit. Now you're roped into that spider web, all right? Like, you know, no joke. Joan was singing about it, a spider web in your head, right? So seriously, let's talk about that, because I'm laughing because I kind of feel like at this point I have a running joke with my Gen Z child. Like, I feel so unrepresented in today's media as a heteronormative female. I feel so misrepresented. I am definitely a minority. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things where it's like at this point I'm starting to laugh because I feel like 80% of that voluntary celibacy has definitely come in with this convoluted open relationships and the swinging and the orgies and the group sex and the polyamory. And I have to say to you, not for nothing, I've definitely had my share of kink, all right? But this is getting a little too freaky deaky and complicated for me. Like, it's just a little too messy out there, cats and kittens. So, you know, be careful. Make sure you put your raincoat on.